What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to show you a tweet from Representative Jayapal. Now, Representative Jayapal, she is the chair of the Progressive Caucus in the House. And so she carries a lot of weight. And when we're talking about the Progressive Caucus, just so you guys understand, the Progressive Caucus, they've been pushing for stimulus checks. They're the only ones that were really pushing for stimulus checks, the third stimulus check, as well as the fourth stimulus check. They were 5-6 months ago, they were the ones sending out the letters to the president saying that there should be monthly payments or there should be another round of stimulus checks. So when Representative Jayapal says something, if she tweets something, we want to pay attention. Now, she did mention stimulus checks in her tweet. And so we're going to dissect this tweet, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what's the likelihood of us seeing a fourth stimulus check. But first off, on this channel, we talk about news that matters. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, and like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me, it's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so before we get started, just in case you haven't watched any of my videos before, I just want to talk a little bit about where we are right now. So we have the first infrastructure bill that is sitting in the House right now. That's been passed by the Senate. And so now the Senate is taking up the second infrastructure bill. And that's what we've been hearing a lot about, the $3.5 trillion bill. And so we know that Senator Manchin, he's kind of on the fence. He doesn't want to go to 3.5 trillion. He wants to be around 1.5 trillion. And so we know Senator Bernie Sanders is the author of the $3.5 trillion bill, and he's pretty much spearheading this. So we're going to be seeing some negotiating happening between Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Manchin, and Senator Sinema to try to come to some type of resolution when it comes to this second infrastructure bill. And so right now in the House, they have a September 27th deadline. They need to vote on that first infrastructure bill by September 27th, because you have moderates in the Democratic Party in the House that are saying that they're not going to move forward in voting for a second infrastructure bill until they pass the first infrastructure bill. And so we know Speaker Pelosi wants to pass the first infrastructure bill as well as the second infrastructure bill simultaneously. So because she already has that first infrastructure bill, she's waiting on the second infrastructure bill. So she's focused on the Senate. They need to pass that second infrastructure bill, move it over to the House, and then they can pass both bills and send them to the president for final signature. So that's what we're looking at right now. But you have moderates and you have progressives in the Democratic Party, and right now they're kind of fighting against each other. The moderates, they want that first infrastructure bill passed first. The progressives are saying, look, we're not going to pass that first infrastructure bill until we have a second infrastructure bill. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. And so now I want to switch over to this tweet so we can talk a little bit about Representative Jayapal. So here we go. And looking at this tweet, she says, last year, stimulus checks alone lifted 11.7 million Americans out of poverty. So this is really good news, right? So the stimulus checks lifted 11.7 million Americans out of poverty. That's a big deal. I agree with her 100%. Now, let's move forward. Now, imagine what we can accomplish by passing the Build Back Better plan. Now, that's President Biden's plan, which will deliver affordable childcare, universal pre-K, paid leave, and so much more. Let's do this. Okay, so now looking at this tweet, let's kind of break this down a little bit. So she's talking about stimulus checks here. I think that's a really good sign that she at least mentioned stimulus checks. However, the fact that she mentioned stimulus checks, she mentioned that 11.7 million Americans were lifted out of poverty by the stimulus checks alone. When she starts talking about Build Back Better, which is the second infrastructure bill, she talks about affordable childcare. She talks about universal pre-K. She talks about paid leave. And then she says, and so much more. So that pretty much encompasses everything else. But the problem that I have with this tweet and breaking it down, she makes no mention of a fourth stimulus check. So she says, stimulus checks in the past help bring 11.7 million Americans out of poverty. Why wouldn't she say, okay, in the Build Back Better, we want a fourth stimulus check to even help more people who are in poverty? She doesn't say that. And that is a major, major problem. And I like I said, I want to give it to you guys straight. I want to be honest with you guys. I've said this all along. I think it's highly unlikely that we'll see a fourth stimulus check. And it's because of stuff like this. It's because of tweets like this. Because Representative Jayapal, she's the chair of the Progressive Caucus. And they're the ones that have pushed for stimulus checks in the past. And they'll be the only ones that are really going to push for stimulus checks now. And the chair is not even talking about it. So if the chair is not talking about it, that means that the other members aren't talking about it as well. And so I wanted to show you this tweet. Now, I don't like bringing bad news to you all the time. Anytime there's good news, I will surely bring that to you as well. But this was shocking when I saw it, because I said, okay, she's actually using stimulus checks to prove her point, but then not saying we're going to go forward with more stimulus checks. Now, if we go back to the tweet, the only thing that I can see on here that might be an out is the fact that she said, and so much more. That's the only thing that I can see where they can say, okay, yeah, we're still talking about stimulus checks, but we haven't really put anything on paper yet. So that's why there's so much more. So much more means they can add some more things to it, I guess. But the reality is we've heard about the blueprint. We know the key points. She mentioned a lot of the key points in this tweet, but she made no mention of enhanced unemployment. She made no mention of stimulus checks. Okay. She made no mention of anything like EIDL loans or PPP loans or anything like that as well. So there are a lot of things that we're not hearing about when it comes to this Build Back Better plan, this second infrastructure bill. And one of those things is stimulus checks. And I know there are a lot of people that were waiting for that. Now, I don't care what you're hearing online, what you're hearing on other YouTube channels, people telling you, yes, fourth stimulus check is on the way. This is the week for the fourth stimulus check. At this point, politicians aren't talking about a fourth stimulus check. And if they start talking about it, I will definitely come back and let you know. So make sure you subscribe and then hit that little bell so you'll get notified. But as of right now, this is where we are. And Ms. Jayapal is the chair of the Progressive Caucus. And so she should be the one at the forefront leading the push for a fourth stimulus check, but she's not mentioning anything here. So if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. Let me know how you feel about this tweet. Let me know that down below as well. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.